The unit cooked great before. Now, it is on a completely different level. I mean, check that out. Texas hot links, juicy, spicy, snappy, absolutely amazing. This is sausage perfection. Hey there guys, what's going on? I hope you're having a great day. In today's video, we are talking about the convection smoker from Smokin-It, and we're making another modification. And just let me back up real quick and kind of tell you where this came from. I'm in the middle of filming a video on how to use the convection smoker. It's an amazing smoker, a lot of great benefits, cooks your food incredibly well. Anyway, I'm on the phone with Steve and I'm making sure that I've got all my bases covered and the ins and outs and the functions and whatnot. And he tells me, hey, wait, before you produce that video, I'm gonna send you a deflector plate. I want you to add it to your smoker, run a couple batches and let me know what you think. And so, I've got this deflector plate right in front of me. We're going to attach it to the smoker. It looks incredibly easy to attach. And then we're going to cook up a batch of sausage and see how it comes out. Let's get going. Here's what we're going to be adding to the smoker. And this one piece of stainless steel will actually fit the 3.5, the 4, the 5, and the 6. So it's just one size fits all. And the idea here is as the air is pushing out, it's going to shoot to the left and the right as well as up, hitting the roof, and then creating all kinds of beautiful convection inside our smoker. Let's take a look at the area we're going to be installing it. So this is the top vent. This is where the air gets pushed out. And what I think I want to show you is kind of a before and after. So let's fire up the Bella's cold smoke generator, because I think this will be a little easier to see once we get some smoke going. So cut the convection on, and I'm going to just turn it to 100%. And notice right here at the bottom that intake is starting to pull that smoke in, and then here at the top, you can see it shooting it out. Let me just show you from a different angle. There we go. That's easier to see. Smoke coming out in a direct line. Okay, so that's what we're working with. To install this, I'm just going to simply loosen the screws. We don't need to take them out. So just enough space to slide that deflector plate right in, and very easy. We're just going to tighten that back up. Okay, no problem. Let's go ahead and fire it back up again and see if it made a difference. Convection now on at 100%. And let me know in the comment section below, can you see a difference? So we definitely have that intake pulling in that smoke. Then we look at the top, and for me, it looks like the smoke's being moved around a lot more smoothly, more evenly. Matter of fact, when I put my hand here in front of the smoker, I don't feel that air hitting my hand like I did when there wasn't a deflector plate. And so very encouraged about that. And it may be hard to see because of all the smoke, but I can definitely tell that the air is being pushed left and right. And then, of course, up and down. And that's really the idea, to create an air current inside the smoker that in essence loops over the food, gets pulled in, gets pushed out. And when I put my hand back there on the back, yeah, I definitely feel the strength of the flow being moved around by that deflector plate. So here's what I'm thinking. I got about 30 pounds of hot links already made. They need to be smoked, and this is a great time to test out this deflector plate because I already know how the smoker operates without a deflector plate. So what I want to try to do is just kind of recreate the exact same conditions, same cooking schedule, same rack placement, all that great stuff, and just compare how these cook over how the other ones cooked without a deflector plate. Now, just at a glance, the Smokin-It Model 4 can hold 4 racks, and these racks are absolutely brilliant. And the most I've ever put per rack was about 10 pounds. And that's kind of a lot, but it depends on the diameter of your sausage and the size of your sausage. But I've put 40 pounds in this smoker, no problem. This is about 30 pounds, 28, 30 pounds or something like that. And we're going to give them a go. Now, I am noticing right here that at the very back, notice the deflector plate, the hole is now covered up. And so I'm wondering whether we could lift the sausage rack up one space, being that they're no longer going to be getting that, hot convection air directly over the top. But I don't want to do that for this cook. I want to keep everything the same. And normally I would place it on this particular rack, which is just under that exit vent. Maybe in a different cook, we'll raise it and see what happens. I tell you what, though, I did happen to have a little mince from the hopper left over in the fridge that was uncased, and I'm just going to put a rack on top and set these right here. There we go, and we'll see how that cooks. Let's look at our cooking schedule. This is going to be a standard 2 guys in a cooler cooking schedule. We're going to click the Smokin-It number 4, and once we do that, this will open up the app, and then we can check the cooking profile to look at how we're going to be programming this. Okay, step 1, we need to dry our sausage. So 100 degrees with the convection fan on for an hour and a half. Step number 2, the smoker is going to automatically bump up to 125. We're going to hover there for another
hour and a half, at which point we're going to begin to apply smoke, and we'll just apply steady smoke through the rest of the cooking process. Step number 3, I've got the smoker programmed to automatically increase its temp to 150 degrees, and it's going to hang there for another hour. Now, step number 4, it's going to change a little bit. Notice we're going to have the smoker bump up to 175, and at this point, we're going to be pretty close to getting to our target temp. So we're going to make the goal for step number 4 temperature, and I want my target temp to be 145 degrees Fahrenheit. So once we hit 145 Fahrenheit, then it's going to automatically bump to step number 5. And notice step number 5, I've got the smoker temp backing down to 145. We're just basically going to pasteurize our sausage. It's going to hang there for about 15 minutes. And there we go. Through this cook, we do want to monitor the temps just to see what's going on inside. And I'm going to take the 2 smallest probes that I've got. These are the sausage probes from Smokin-It. I'm going to set one in the front, just like that. Absolutely perfect for sausage. And we're going to set one in the back. And now we can monitor our temps. And now that I'm thinking about it, I do feel like I want a couple more probes. So let's bust out the ThermalWorks RFX wireless system and get some of those probes in there. And looking back, I got to be completely honest, this may not be the best probe for what I'm doing. These RFX probes have 4 sensors, and you kind of want all those sensors to be reading the temperature of the meat. And some of the placements right here, I only have like the tip in. So be that as it may, I think we're still going to get a fairly decent idea of what's going on in the smoker. All right, close it down, and now our sausage is dried. We're firing up the bellows cold smoke generator again, and we're now going to begin the cooking process. So sausage has already dried. We're now on step 2. It is at 125, and we're just going to cook these sausage and see what happens. Now, normally, I am adjusting the fan. So right now it's at 100% because we were in that drying phase. I'm normally adjusting it to about 50%. Now, if you run your convection at full speed, your cooking times are definitely going to be different than mine. Matter of fact, your food's more than likely going to cook a little bit faster. So anyway, 2.5 hours into the cook, let's take a look at our ThermalWorks app. Remember, so far, the majority of the time has been 125 degrees for 1.5 hours, and then 1 hour at 150 degrees. And this is what our placement looks like. The black is on the row closest to the vent at the very back. The red is the row in front of it. The blue is the row in front of that. And then the yellow is right by the door. And my temperature swings are actually pretty close. My high and low is about 5 degrees. The middle rows is only about 2 degrees. And honestly, all of that's going to level off in the next 45 minutes when this sausage is done cooking. I am very pleased with these numbers. The Smokin-It app is giving me an internal temperature reading of roughly 139 degrees, both on the back and the front. And so the placement of the probe and all that stuff makes a difference. But overall, it looks like we're well within range. And unlike before, we don't have this massive temperature swing at the bottom or on the back shelf, which is really great. Our sausage is officially done cooking. Let's open this up and see what it looks like. Oh yeah, beautiful sausage. Amazing color. And the 2 raw patties right there on the rack, we're going to remove that first. Those actually reached their temperature at the same time as the rest of the sausage. I thought it might cook a little bit faster. It certainly did not, and that deflector plate kept that air, that hot air coming from the bottom, from just blasting right on top of it. Amazing. Look at the color of that sausage. Beautiful Texas hot links. Amazing sausage. Smells great. Nice and smoky. Loving the amount of time that it took to cook these 30-pound sausage. I mean, especially at those temperatures. Incredible.
The unit cooked great before. Now, it is on a completely different level. I mean, check that out. Texas hot links. Juicy, spicy, snappy, absolutely amazing. This is sausage perfection. I gotta get a slice of this. This looks amazing. Check out that sausage. This beautiful texture, incredibly juicy. I will admit, we've tasted Texas hot links on this channel quite a bit of times. It's my go-to sausage when we're testing the smoker, and adding that plate just gave me another excuse to make another batch of Texas hot links. It's an amazing sausage. Every time we put it on our menu, it sells out almost instantly. And I'll put a recipe link in the description box below if you want to make these at home for yourself. Super spicy, super juicy, incredibly flavorful. Let's give it a bite. Oh. That is nice. Spicy, coming to you from different levels. Smoky, incredibly juicy. That is a perfect sausage eating experience, at least for me. The way the convection smoker cooked this sausage, absolutely brilliant. Before the deflector plate, there were some heat zones, and that's pretty typical when it comes to pits, when it comes to ovens, convection or non-convection, and you just got to get used to it and then kind of work around it.
With the deflector plate, on the other hand, I did feel like the air circulated evenly. Instead of having a forward and back motion, we had more angles, so bouncing off the top, off the sides, in essence creating a very smooth convection inside the smoker.
It certainly got rid of the heat zone in the back, because before, I mean, that back row would be done up to 30 minutes before everything else, which, you know, for me, it wasn't that big a deal. Monitor the temps, pull it when it's finished. But this go around, I was able to pull 100% of everything that we had in there at the exact same time, which is a huge win in my book. That is so good.
I do feel like the food cooked faster, and like I said earlier, more evenly. The total cook time, so I'm not counting the drying time, was about 3 hours and 15 minutes. And you got to remember, the majority of that cook time was at the 125 and 150 range. By the time we got to 175, it only hung out there for about 30 minutes before transitioning to the final step. So with the convection system running a little more efficiently, we are able to, cook these sausages 3 hours and 15 minutes. Under normal circumstances, this would take a whole lot longer. The other thing that I've noticed is that when you open the door, if you got to do something inside your smoker, the loss of temperature isn't nearly as dramatic. Before the deflector plate, the minute you would open the door, let's say you're checking on your food or whatever, the temperature inside your smoker would drop radically because that vent would just be pushing the air right out of the smoker. But since the deflector plate, it's kind of contained a little better, and the temperature drop isn't nearly as severe, and it recovers actually pretty quick.
All right, so here's the deal. If you happen to have a convection smoker from Smokin-It and you bought it before today, and yours does not have a deflector plate on it, I'm going to put a link to Steve's website. Contact him and let him know that you need a deflector plate. It's absolutely free for anybody who bought a Pro model smoker. These are the ones with convection. Let him know who you are. If you have your invoice number, that would be handy as well. And he will send a deflector plate right out to you free of charge. As you saw, it is incredibly easy to install. I think the whole thing only took 2 or 3 minutes, and it makes a world of difference in overcoming some of the heat zones that the convection smoker had before the deflector plate. From what I'm to understand, all Smokin-It smokers that have convection that are sold from this point moving forward are going to have the deflector plate included, so you don't have to worry about it. So far, we've made 2 changes to the convection smoker. The first was the variable speed control. We swapped it out with the new one, and once again, if you have an older model convection smoker from Smokin-It and you still have the old variable speed control, contact Steve. Let him know when you bought it, give him your invoice number, and he will send you out a new one in the event that you need it, absolutely free of charge. And then we added the deflector plate, which, as you saw, got rid of the heat zone. It made heating a lot more uniform, and our end result was just spectacular. Now that our smoker is coming in tight, get ready, because I've got some extraordinary videos to show you the capability of this convection smoker. We're cooking in record time, guys. I'm talking mind-boggling. Brisket, pulled pork, ribs, you name it, without compromising the flavor. It's going to be absolutely amazing. If you want information on the Smokin-It brand, either the convection or the non-convection, I'll put a link in the description box so that you can check it out. And if you're new to this channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you don't miss a single video. Big thumbs up if you like this video, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Thanks a lot for being here, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Boy, that's good. That's spicy.